Hello everybody, I am Anu and I work with Shah Peerally Law Group. Today we have very interesting information on immigration which we will share with Attorney Hassan and Attorney Shah Peerally. As you know, Shah Peerally Law Group is a dedicated law firm and that helps the clients in immigration, and you can also go to our website, that is peerallylaw.com. So let's welcome Shah and Hassan and talk about EB category. Hello Shah and Hassan.
Hi.
Hey Anu.
How are you?
We're doing well.
Very good.
Okay, Shah. So please tell me that these days we get a lot of calls and people do ask us about how to convert EB3 to EB2. So, well, before you answer, please tell me what is EB category? What is that?
Well, EB stands for what we call the employment-based categories. The system is set so that different people have different categories, so that, and at the end, the outcome, you get a green card faster if you're on an EB2 than an EB3. It's just a category that is being decided by the immigration laws and all the regulations that we use. But in simple terms, it's just a category. It stands for employment-based category.
Okay, so EB stands for employment-based immigration, right?
Yes.
Hassan, what do you think? You want to add something?
Not much. It's just it's an immigrant petition for getting a green card. It's not like an H-1B, for example.
Okay.
And it's divided up into 5 different categories.
So who
Five
qualifies for this, for EB category?
People who have an employer that is going to sponsor them for a green card. They have to test the labor market if they're doing EB2 or EB3.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically, there's a lot more to it than that. But it's a sponsorship. They have to test the labor market to see that there's no qualified Americans who can take the job.
Okay.
And EB2 is those who have a master's degree or greater. It's a professional. And EB3 is well, actually, they're both professional. EB2 is advanced degree. EB2 is less than advanced, which is bachelor's.
Okay. Just to add a little bit on that, the EB2 also can be obtained by using a bachelor's degree plus 5 years of experience.
Of course.
And again, also like as Hassan was mentioning earlier, there are a lot of EB categories, but this video is kind of limited to only talking about EB2 and
okay.
EB3. So, bottom line, we want to know how people want to know how to convert the EB3 to the EB2.
And how to qualify for it.
Exactly.
Okay. So, okay, someone from India who have a bachelor's degree and 5 years of experience, or who have a master's degree and have a 3 years of experience, can they qualify for this? And if yes, why we get so many calls and people do stress out for it?
Well, this is a very good question, especially you pointed out India, because in order for you to obtain the EB2 category, which is the one that most people want to have at this point, you have to have a bachelor, which is a US equivalent bachelor.
Okay.
The US equivalent bachelor requires 4 years degree. Unfortunately, India has what we call a 3-year bachelor's,
Yeah.
and some places they have 2-year bachelor's.
Correct.
So it becomes a problem because unlike H-1B, where you can use experience to basically accommodate the 1 year missing, you cannot do the same for the green card, for the PERP. And unfortunately, this is what is causing the stress. And Hassan, I think you have a take on that, or the situation.
Well, there's plenty of schools, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's plenty of schools in India that are 4-year programs as well.
Yes.
There are some people who however, have a 3-year bachelor's degree, and that's where the problem lies. And the Nebraska Service Center, back in 2007, had a discussion with AILA, American Immigration Lawyers Association. There was a correspondence with them. And they provided very clear guidelines as to what qualifies for EB2, EB3 based on combination of education and experience. So if you have a 3-year degree in India, you could have, you won't qualify for EB2 unless you have a 2-year master's that follows that from India.
Yes.
That would be considered a single source equivalent of a bachelor's degree. And then your 5 years of experience in addition, as Shah mentioned, you can combine bachelor's equivalent plus 5 years experience to qualify for EB2. So that's kind of the solution. Or they could get a master's degree in the US.
So having a 3-year degree is a problem.
It can be a problem.
it would be a problem in case of your filing for green card. It is okay
On
when
EB2.
you're dealing, an EB2, and it is okay on an H1B. The thing that Hassan mentioned is that if you take the way the system, the guidelines that has been issued, you cannot combine. Not only you cannot combine experience with that. That means, but you can combine academic, certain academic qualifications. For example, a master's with a bachelor combined can make a bachelor.
Just a bachelor.
Yeah.
So this is doable, but it requires a credential evaluation.
So it leaves clients or candidates hanging. Can you please explain?
Yeah, it leaves people hanging because the problem is that many people, because of this 3-year bachelor's, they end up into what we call the EB3 category. The EB2 is pretty much the kind of the catch-all. And the truth, it's not even EB3. They leave them in the skilled labor, by the way, not even in the EB3.
Yeah.
Because the EB3 itself is a regular bachelor of 4 years, plus less than 5 years experience. And people get confused all the time because they come to me, and I know Hassan also gets that. Hey, I'm on EB3. The truth, they're not even on EB3. They're in just skilled labor.
They're skilled workers, yes.
Skilled workers. So,
but it's similar in wait time.
it's similar in wait time, but it's good to know your category. Your category is, if you don't have a 4 years bachelor, you're probably in the skilled labor. Now the problem is that based on the Visa Bulletin, we have noticed that the waiting time, the way this is going, the pace is going, the waiting time is very, very long. Some people have been claimed 70 years.
70 years.
Yes, so EB3
7-0.
7-0 is bad.
So tell me, Hassan, 70 years.
They'll have kids born here, and the kids will sponsor them
I
for the
think
green card.
grandchildren or something.
Yes.
No,
Okay.
the joke is that they'll have kids born here, they become adults, they'll sponsor them for green card faster than they'll get green card through their job.
That's true.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's very, very unfair.
So Hassan, 70 years, how is it possible?
I mean, the Visa Bulletin, if you look at the bulletins, for example, you look at the March 2012 bulletin and you compare that to the April bulletin, you'd expect the priority dates to progress by a whole month on EB3 for the priority date, but they're not. They're progressing maybe not at all, maybe it's frozen, or maybe it's progressing by a week or so. So that's why we get this calculation of, okay, at that rate,
70 years.
if you file a green card petition now, at that rate, 70 years later, you're going to get your green card approved.
Wow,
prior to
that's really interesting to know.
Yeah.
And Shah, so what's the solution?
Well, the solution, I know, is it's not that simple, but it's not the same that complicated. One of the solutions is to look into all your degrees and do a good credential evaluation, merging the degrees, if it is possible, of course. It's not always possible. That's one way to do it. And look at your experience. You have to have a bachelor's degree, remember 4 years bachelor's degree, plus 5 years of experience. The other options probably is to look into a master's degree. That's one solution I tell to my clients. If you can get it, instead of waiting that 70 years on an H1B, an EB3 category, you might as well just go to school, get a master's degree in the United States. That will allow you to get probably the EB2 and then file your EB2 under that, because you don't want to wait on the EB3.
Okay. So can we help them on this?
Well, we can definitely help them to prepare the paperwork and guide them how to do it, because it's very, very complicated. And I know Hassan and I have handled many cases successfully by advising people that they can be on EB2 or instead of being on EB3, because many times they don't know they can be on EB2. So Hassan, I know lately you have been doing a lot of those cases, and I have been doing consultation on a lot of them also. So how good it is for people to jump on EB2 at this point? Is it something that, for me personally, I think they should jump on EB2 if they get a chance to do it?
Well, we already discussed that, according to the process time, the calculations of how the dates are progressing, it could be, decades at that rate. There has been some discussion in Congress of actually increasing the number specifically for Indians. It's not fair how long this is taking on EB3. EB3 in general is just so far retrogressed. We need more numbers to allow these skilled workers to eventually get the green card. It makes no sense. The employer doesn't sponsor someone so that they can have them start working 10, 20, 30 years later. So another thing is the, what was I going to say? I kind of lost my train of thought. Let's just go to something else. It'll come back to me.
That's okay.
That's
I
fine.
think it seems too much complicated, and I think you guys need a good attorney who can help you out. And our law firm, that is Shah Law Group, has a fantastic rating on AGO. That's a website that rank the attorneys, and that is 9.3. That is superb. So you can also call our law firm, that is 510-742-5887 if you guys need any help in EB3 or EB2 category. So
I remember what I was going to say.
okay.
Okay, I got too caught up in the mood and the emotion of how long people have to wait. No, but seriously, it is a problem. It is impacting people. But you can preserve. Why it's a good idea too. If you file an EB3, let's just say in 2009, right? EB3, you're still waiting. It's going to take so long. You file an EB2, the employer because you get your master's later on, or you qualify for some other possible way, maybe. Through experience, combining bachelor's plus 5 years. You redo the application, you still preserve your priority date. So what that means is if you start that process on EB2, fresh process, you get to preserve your priority date from the previous.
Exactly.
And you can file for your green card immediately because priority date is current for EB2.
At this point in time.
At this point in time for those who have before some date in 2010. So if 2009 you have EB3 and you go up to EB2, you can apply for your adjustment of status immediately too.
Yeah,
With the
that's exactly.
With the I-140. That's
And
what.
And the thing also, I know that many people were able to file the I-45, which is the adjustment of status, but still leave, like you say, hanging there. And unfortunately, if they are able to get the I-140 approved on EB2, it's just, you don't have to file a new I-45. It's just a matter of transferring the adjustment of status from that EB3 to that EB2,
Right.
which saves time and money. And guess what? We have seen cases where people just get their green card within a few months of it.
Wow. So what's the success rate?
Also, so first 100%, right?
Yeah, I mean,
We have not had any
100% success
we
rate.
can't
Okay.
guarantee future results, but we're talking about our EB2 petitions. I can't think of one that was denied. Also, audits are more rare in these type of cases if you qualify under EB2.
Yeah.
At least that's what we've noticed.
But the truth also, Hassan, one thing which is interesting with our law firm, the kind of quality our team gives, including you and the rest of the team, we are able to get an extraordinary success rate. And I was speaking to many other friends, lawyers, and they were saying, "Oh, how come you're not getting audited on your firm?" We don't.
It's very
It's
rare.
very rare. I think we had only one audit out of hundreds,
Yeah.
which is an amazing rate.
Audits are more rare when you're trying to qualify for skilled worker based on saying your education experience combined equals a bachelor's degree. And if someone has a 3-year degree, you'll have to do that, but you're more likely to get an audit because it's not exactly the same as a bachelor's.
Exactly.
So single mistake can.
And of course, those things too, middle mistakes too, you're right.
Okay, so what do you mean mistakes? What kind of mistakes can happen?
Well, you could misstate the experience requirement. You could make a job that doesn't require such experience, and you put excessive experience requirements. Those are sort of things that might trigger an audit. It's also hard to predict because they have their own system of deciding and reviewing it. I'm sure it's like Google Analytics, they change things, so maybe
Okay.
with them they might have different things that trigger audits.
So Shah, as our law firm is really experienced in it, so tell us about the different steps.
Well, the thing is that, first of all, I know the mistakes is very common. Many problems happen. For one, people don't want to get on the EB2 because they don't know about it. And unfortunately, I've just seen a case actually today itself where they use a non-lawyer to prepare the paperwork. They forgot to advise the employee they have to answer the email confirming that the case was finished or not. So the kind of things that we see, they forgot to mention to the employer that they have to answer an email from the Department of Labor. And those kind of mistakes happen oftentimes when you're using someone who is not experienced or someone who's not a lawyer, because that's becoming the new trend. People think, oh, I'm not going to pay a lawyer, I can pay cheaper. First of all, bad thing. The person who you're hiring who's not a lawyer is practicing law without a license, which is a crime.
Mm-hmm.
And when they get arrested or they get busted, guess what? All your cases you have filed with them might be under review and all your candidates might come back. So as an employers also, those are the kind of things that they should not do. Hiring an attorney makes a big difference. Hiring a real attorney makes a bigger difference. So people should be aware of this, and this is happening more and more.
Okay, so we need a good attorney to help the clients or to help the people out for this, not only for this, but I think for all the immigration needs.
Yeah, a good attorney, licensed and with experience in whatever area that you need help in, of course.
Okay, tell me one thing. Do we do these
Successful experience.
Okay, and where can these everyone can look over it and find about us, where they can go and find about our law firm information?
Well, our website for one.
And
Our website is peerallylaw.com, peerallylaw.com. Probably it's going to be appearing on the screen, or they can call us. Simple ways 510-742-5887.
and they can also check us like the latest YouTube videos, because every week I think we put some videos, right?
Yes, actually now we have a website where we put our featured videos, which is on peerally.tv. You can type the name peerally.tv, and we'll be glad to update them with information which are interesting to the community.
Okay.
You can also find us on AVO.
Exactly.
9.3.
You can find us everywhere. Just Google our name.
Google them, Shah Peerally Law Group. Okay, tell me one thing. Do you mean that this experience, like whatever we had, back than 5 years, can be used on H1B?
H1B is different. It's actually easier to qualify. You can combine, you don't have to have a degree. You can just get H1B through experience, but you would need 12 years of experience, progressive experience, and proof of expertise in the field. It's a little bit more of a complicated petition, but there's a lot more flexibility with H1B.
Oh, exactly. You know, H1B is a lot easier when it comes to those experience qualifications, and you just need the experience to be converted into the degree. But unfortunately, we cannot do it the same. We cannot do the same thing on the other side.
Yeah, qualify for H1B doesn't necessarily mean you'll get EB2.
I think we can go on and on, but time is short. So thank you, Shah and Hassan, for giving us such a valuable information. And note that this video is a courtesy of Shah Peerally Law Group and it is for educational purposes only. You should not act or refrain to act solely on the information provided. No attorney-client relationship is created through this video. And this is Anu signing off, and thank you.
Thanks, Anu.
Thank you.